Good morning. This is Dr. Brad Hulsebus, chiropractor here at Rockford, Illinois, at Hulsebus Rockford Chiropractic. And I come here every Monday morning with a little message for everybody. This is always called Ask the Chiropractor. These are questions we get asked during the week in practice, or somebody emails us or sends a text message or a message to our website at rockforddc.com, and we get back to you to try to answer your question. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people want to learn more about chiropractic, watch a video about chiropractic, and afterwards they're told to check with your family doctor before you try it. And your family doctor knows very little about chiropractic. They know about a lot of stuff. They don't know much about chiropractic. So if you have a question about chiropractic care before you start chiropractic care, or want to know more about chiropractic care, I started this podcast, Ask the Chiropractor. So last week I did a video on how do you get started. It's a new year. I want to start working out. I want to start getting better. I want to make myself a better version of myself from last year. And I did some of the beginner stuff that you would do. So if you are a beginner and you don't know where to start and you've never really worked out much before, or maybe you're just asking yourself, I want to do a couple little things that make myself better and stronger and healthier. What do I do? Go back and check out the previous video. That's for you. This video is for those who are already in a routine. I used to get up every morning at 4 and go to the gym and work out. I don't do it as much anymore because I discovered a couple of things. I'm going to go over those now. But exercise is so vital, so important to our body. If you want to clean your cells, so flush out all the garbage and help grow and build stronger new cells, one of the best ways, second to none, is exercising. Getting a good 30-minute sweat every day or an hour sweat every day. But I want to talk to those of you who are going out there every day doing it and you're always in pain. We meet you guys eventually. Hey, I work out all the time. I go to the gym. I do all this stuff. I'm always in pain. What's going on? How come I always hurt? And I want to talk about those things. I want to talk about those of you that use this little roller thing. For those of you who are listening, not watching, this is one of those two handles on it with the beads that roll in the middle. And a lot of times you'll roll this up and down against your legs, your thighs, trying to break up some muscle knots and some adhesions. These are really good. And I like these a lot too. Like my daughter's a cross country runner, and I like using these after we go for a long run to help break up some of those knots. Another thing that we see a lot of people that talk to us about is they have one of these big foam rollers. They get these foam rollers and they roll up and down on them. And these work pretty good. By the way, don't use these in your lower back. If you have a question how to use these in your spine, ask your chiropractor, okay? Because we'll teach you how to use it right. So these ones right here are really good. These help DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So like before a workout, you get on one of these, roll your thighs, your legs up and down, break up some of those knots before the workout, even before the stretch. I do that even before the stretch. So I'll start off working those out to get things going. The next thing I like a lot is these right here for those really tight spots. I know a lot of you get those tight spots between your shoulders. Grabbing one of these little hypervolt, these little massage guns. For those of you who can't see, sorry. Massage gun. I know you can get them at Costco, other places. They have a little piston that goes back and forth really quick. Kind of beats up some of those knots that we get. We get knots because inflamed tissue, sticky tissue that make adhesions, and adhesions turn into knots, which makes it sticky, which makes it more inflamed, which makes it more sticky. It's a vicious cycle. So working on those knots is helpful. Now, if you're using these things like after an aggressive workout, that's I understand that. If you're using like the foam roller before you work out every morning, awesome. If you're using this little muscle roller, to get things warmed up here and there from time to time, great. If you're using that little therapy gun because you've got the tension between your shoulders from time to time, I get it. But the thing is, we don't want to make these all day, everyday necessities that I have to, basically like walk around with this in my backpack all day because I got to constantly keep rolling my right thigh. Just my right thigh, not my left one ever. Or I don't want to constantly have to keep my little therapy gun because I can only go about 2 or 3 hours before someone beats me between the shoulders with this because I get so knotted and so tense up there. Or I use my foam roller 5 or 6 times a day. That's not what that's not a sign of something that's good. That's a sign of something that's under stress and it keeps getting injured and it keeps screaming out for help. So again, if you use this stuff like, routinely, like before an exercise, just to loosen things up, I get that. But if you're using these things all day long and these things are stuff you carry with you that you use all the time, not so great. And there's probably underlying things going on. Like if you're always using the beads of the handlebars on your right leg all the time, that right leg is bugging you, I'm willing to bet if we took your x-rays, we would find that you have a rotated pelvis. And that's creating more tension on one leg than the other leg. If you're using the therapy gun like this thing up between your shoulders all day long, I bet we find that you have really, really bad neck posture and maybe something more going on between your shoulder blades that needs to be corrected. Because if you're doing things that are supposed to get healthy results and you're not getting healthy results, there's probably something more going on that we're overlooking or we're missing. And going to your chiropractor and having them evaluate you is a great way of doing it. How about another thing? How about like if you're doing an exercise wrong all the time, or maybe an exercise that's wrong for you based on the way your spine might have a couple of weaknesses? I know a couple of years ago, I went to the Arnold Classic, the big bodybuilding tournament. You see, chiropractors are the oldest sponsor of the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. So we get to go to that quite a bit. We get some really good seats. Well, the last time it was being held in person before COVID, they were talking about banning the lunge for people with rotated pelvises. And we broke it all down, how the muscles work and stuff like that. So I've had a couple of people come in. I said, you know what we need to do? We need to ban the lunge. We need to stop doing lunges. And we replace it with other exercises. We're not saying don't exercise those muscles. We're just saying, let's find a better exercise for those muscles. And that's what we did. We came up with ideas and alternative ways of exercising. So if you come with a chiropractor, you're not giving up your exercise. We're just going to simply talk to you about maybe how to do it differently, how to do it better so you don't always have to hurt. Because if you are exercising, you should be getting better. You should be getting healthier and stronger, not weaker. It's a lot of times people say, oh, my lower back hurts. I'm going to really exercise that today. I'm really going to stretch that out. I'm really going to do stuff. And sometimes, if you do that and it gets better, fantastic. Awesome. You're a healthy person with a healthy spine. But if you're doing that for over a month, guess what? There's something else going on there. There's a reason to call your chiropractor and get it figured out. And we love the fact that you exercise. We love the fact that you work out because we know you're going to bounce back really quick. We know we're not going to have to see you 500 times to make it better because you do better things. And we're going to work with you with the way you work out. And if you have a personal strength coach or someone that you work with, let us know because we work with these guys over here all the time, the Ice Hogs. And we're the team chiropractors for the local AHL hockey team that works with the Chicago Blackhawks. And we work with about every pro team in our community. So we'll work with you. And most chiropractors will work with your trainers and your strength coaches and how to get you working out better, stronger, doing better. And that's really what everybody wants. Your strength coach wants it. We want it. Everybody wants it for you. So we work as a team. Now, the one thing I learned that I wasn't doing enough of it, I wasn't giving myself enough recovery time or drinking the right recovery stuff afterwards. This stuff's important too, making sure that you recover well. When we go to a hockey game, it's interesting because before COVID, right? You also have to clarify before COVID. Well, before COVID, the players would come out and meet the season ticket holders after the game. They want to go skate with the team or have a drink and pizza party up in the lounge with the players. And the players don't like doing this. And I always tell everybody, it's not because they don't like fans. I mean, who doesn't like people who worship you, right? Because fans worship their team. What they do is their recovery. They're after it's over, they like to recover. And when they have to go meet with the fans right away, it cuts into the recovery time and it makes them rush through things and they know it's going to cause problems the next day. So if you don't have a good recovery after your exercise, that's another good reason to talk to your trainer, talk to your chiropractor. There's the ways you have to do things. I was very poor at this. I was always more sore and more achy after I worked out to the point where I actually couldn't do some adjustments to some patients. Other doctors had to come in and perform my duties for me because I was so sore. And all I was doing was working out every day. I was getting up at 4 in the morning every day and going to work out. And I never gave myself time off because I didn't work a 12-hour day afterwards. So that was too much for me. My body couldn't handle that much, especially because I'm not getting younger, right? So talk to your chiropractor to come up with reasonable exercises based on your schedule and your time. They'll find you strength conditioning coaches to work with that are great for what's going on with you. I know several. You don't marry the first person you date usually. So I've got several friends around Rockford where you send different people and different trainers, knowing their personality, how they're going to work. We communicate with them. We work with them. But again, back to you. If you're exercising every day and you're constantly having aches and pains, you can't go through your day without having to do some type of therapy or some type of modality or stretch or exercise all day long. There are bigger issues happening. And as your chiropractors, we like to try to help you find those, correct those, and eliminate those so you can be healthy and strong and get the full benefits of your exercise, the reason you're doing it. So that's a lot. So if you have any questions for us, go ahead and leave a comment below. Send us an email, call us, stop by our website, rockforddc.com. Rockford, like it sounds, ROCKFORD. Then it's DC, Rockford, DC, Dog Cat, Dr. Chiropractic, RockfordDC.com. Leave us a message there. Hit the contact us button. We'll get back to you. Maybe next time I'll be here talking about your question. Other than that, everybody have a healthy, strong start to a new year, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye, everybody.